Today we're gonna do something a little special for the Jeep. We got some nice new PRP Enduro Elite, whatever. They recline, they're really nice. Got the tan leather. It's about 100 degrees out right now, and I'm not joking. The real feel is probably over 100. So I figured this would be a great, easy little project. That's probably not going to be the case, and if I get them in, that's great. If not, I'm gonna put the camera down, I'm gonna clean up, and I'm going back inside. So here we go. So I actually have the 2003 and newer seats, and I actually like these seats a lot better. I definitely don't hate them, but they're really dirty and they're getting really worn out. So these are going to go, the new PRPs are going to come in, and luckily I've had these seats out a bunch of times, so it's pretty simple. You have 4 bolts on the bottom, and the back corner one is going to be a Torx. I forget exactly what size, but if you're working on Jeeps, you should have those Torx bits already. So it shouldn't be a big deal, and I'm just gonna have to give it my best shot, and hopefully everything works out. So I'm going to start with these easy to reach 1/2-inch bolts, and of course I have to use this little extension thing and it doesn't fit. So alright, so I'm going to start with the easy to reach 1/2-inch bolts. That's the wrong way, silly me. So if you're anything like me, you like to keep your items safe when your Jeep is open, so you have an under seat lockbox. And the most annoying part about having one of these is that the front seat bolt is right behind here, and you can't fit a wrench in there. Like, you could probably cut this open to make it easier, but I end up using this swivel thing, and you can shove it in there and have the wrench at a weird angle. So it's the worst part about this whole process right now, but I think it's worth it to have some secure storage. And last but not least is that Torx guy right there. I believe it's a T50. I'm gonna have to confirm that, but like I said, if you're working on Jeeps, you should have all those bolts. So you take that out, and then the whole seat and the bracket will come right out. Huge tip for anybody doing this: there is a plug for the seatbelt, and mine wouldn't come out from underneath my center console, so I ended up yanking it out of the plastic. You can see they go back in here somehow, but I'm just ended up putting my own connectors back on there, and I ripped my finger open doing it. I had to take the whole center console out, so just take your time. So PRP's website claims that you can't use the stock seatbelt. I'm gonna actually make a little bracket for it on the new, well, on these brackets with the new adapters and whatever. And it's just one Torx bolt right there, and it should come off, and we'll be able to salvage it. So if you're having a hard time getting the seatbelt bolt out, that's because underneath here there's like a little safety washer. I can't really see it, but underneath this big silver one, there's another threaded washer. And I'm gonna hold that with a pair of needle nose pliers to help get that out. On the back side of the passenger seat, you have to use the latch, at least on these seats, you have to use the latch to fold and tumble it forward. And then under here is the Torx. Under there is the other half. So those two, and then this one's out. I actually just realized that you don't need to take these base plates off, because these brackets actually go into here and here, and then this one's hiding. Those I don't know. Those are not going to be fun. But so that way this whole entire frame comes off, and you still can retain your sliders. So got the adjustable ratcheting wrench in there. And I've still got to find this one. Oh, it's under there. You can't see it, but there's another one there, and I'm sure there's another one down here. And then you take this whole thing off, which makes it so much easier. So this bolt up here that is hidden way back there, the only way to get to it is if you shove the wrench up in there, and you can only twist it like maybe a quarter turn at a time. And the key is your wrench must be at least that thin, otherwise it won't fit in between the metals that are sandwiched together. Like if there was a bolt here, it would have to be like that. And then little by little it comes out, and this sucks. You can't even see, but the wrench is just down in there, and luckily you can actually fit a ratcheting wrench down on this one. The other two, oh my god, that's brutal. And finally, there we go. There you can see 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this whole entire mechanism comes off, so that way you can retain the sliders, which is kind of nice, but it's kind of a huge pain in the butt, especially since in the instructions they literally don't tell you anything about how to go about getting these off. So yeah, you need a really thin wrench. It's like the head of the bolt is in there. Same with this one, you need a really thin one. And then these two you can get actually a ratcheting wrench on, which helps tremendously. And what seems kind of cool is that these, since these are the 2003 restyled seats, they actually kind of have the suspension seat style. So, interesting. Getting these reupholstered wouldn't be such a bad option, actually. You can clean all this up while it's all apart. So I'm gonna give this a fresh coat of paint, and I'm gonna go clean up out front, and then we'll get back to it. I've been debating whether or not to take this front carpet section out for the longest time. I've always had the back out because I have it all monster lined. It's super nice, and just now, while I have everything out, this solidified the fact that I want to take it out. It's literally on top of all the monster liner is all that rust, so it's definitely coming out. Maybe I'll get a new like a bed tread or something like that. The only reason I left it in is because I like this heat shield over the trans tunnel, but I don't like all the rust. So while everything's out, the carpet's coming out. I don't even know what the heck these things are. They created a mess though. There's like these washers sitting in here. I have no idea what they're from, but they're just corroding and causing a mess. This one's got monster liner on it. I don't know where that came from. Oh, right in there it looks like. Jeez. So I finally managed to get the driver's seat in. This is the passenger. You saw the comparison between the two seats. There's quite a big difference. And so I didn't show exactly like how I got the seat installed because it was a huge pain in the butt. But it went all right. It's very, very frustrating. So you guys saw that I took the bottom like whole assembly off of this seat, and it actually bolts onto these very easy. That's not the hard part. The hard part is sliding these back into the Jeep and then getting everything to line up again. But yeah, it worked. And then I want to show you guys what I did for the seatbelt. It's not permanent, but I used just an L bracket, and then I drilled a hole in it that goes into where the original frame goes into the new seat, and then it just comes up, and the seat belt will go onto the L right into there, and it'll stick up. It's definitely not the safest option right now, but it's getting me by, and I just wanted to make sure that I really liked the seats before I, went crazy with everything. So I've been driving around with them for a couple days now, and I will say you can notice the difference, like with an actual like suspension seat, and my shoulders are very well tucked in here. I do have like pretty broad shoulders, and it does hold me in very well. It's a very big noticeable difference. So that's awesome. My complaints right now with them are that since you have to use the whole slider assembly from the original seat, it sits up like probably 2 or 3 inches higher, and like my head is only a couple inches from hitting like the roll bar, and it's kind of weird. It's not bad, but it's just not what I'm comfortable with. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to go with either some custom sliders, or I was looking at the Corbeau sliders. Not the Corbeau sliders, the Corbeau just seat bracket, whatever you want to call it. They don't slide, but they seem like it would be a better option. That's like really my only complaint. They don't really fit that well. The side hits the roll bar on the side here. They don't go back far enough, like they don't slide back far enough. All that stuff can be like fixed, but just the way that it all bolts together, it doesn't fit to my liking, which is that's kind of alright. They're universal seats. They're not meant for, well, I mean they kind of are, but they have the bracket, the adapter brackets and everything, but what are you gonna do? So yeah, otherwise these are actually very comfortable. A lot of people have been giving me questions and asking me about the hump in the middle here. It looks like it goes really far back, but it actually kind of stops like right here, which is where you sit. And since these are the daily driving seats, they don't have the high bolsters. So what they did is they put it in the middle, and it keeps your legs from moving around. And I will say, it's not as aggressive as you think, and this foam is very soft, and it's actually really comfortable, and it does a good job. Something else I had to get used to though was the sides here. It's very thin, so like the outsides of my legs actually hit that, and it's really hard, which is it's just weird compared to this, where the whole edges would just like roll over. But it's definitely not that bad. Also, with the not fitting issue, the door hits, I don't know if you guys can see, but the reclining arm is over here, and when you close the door, it actually hits that arm, so you can't like use the recliner when your door is closed, which is alright, but it's kind of annoying. There are some adjustments I can do to push it over, but the way that it fits on the original brackets from these seats, it just doesn't want to. Again, so I'm just gonna need some customizing. So other than that, these seats are honestly, they're very nice. They're very comfortable. They look cool. The materials are pretty good. I got the vinyl. This is like the lightest color they make, and then the black Cordura, I believe it is. And this stuff is awesome. It seems very durable, and everything sticks to it, but it comes right off if you just rub it off. The vinyl seems kind of, I don't want to say cheap, but like thin. Like I knocked one over the other day when they were out front, and it kind of ripped in the back where it hit the ground. Everything's very soft. I fit very well in them. I have no idea what my shoulder width is, but I got the 4-inch taller, I believe it is, which might not have been necessary, but I like my head to be able to hit the headrest. I think that's going to be it for this one, so if you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to try and help, so leave them down below. I'm going to be posting pictures of them, and you'll probably find more information on them on my Instagram as time goes on. If I find a better way to mount them, I will make a video about it, or probably include it in another video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Happy 4th of July to everybody. If this is probably going to be uploaded after that, but whatever, you get it. I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace. So you can see here how much taller that the seat actually is. On the original seats, this whole thing is like kind of inside the bottom of the seat almost. So it's raised up about probably 2.5 inches, and that makes a huge difference.